is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD update for May 14th, 2013. So before I get started, let me show you what shirt I'm wearing. It's my Greendale Community College shirt, and if you know the show, Community, Go Human Beings. Okay, so today I've got 9 new movies to show you. All from the late 90s, mostly from 1999, probably my favorite year for movies. But these are sort of the okay movies of that year. Some good films in here, some good late 90s stuff. So let's get started. Up first we have The Devil's Own from 1997, directed by Alan J. Pakula, starring Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford. The other Devil's film of that year, The Devil's Advocate, which I already have, was sort of a guilty pleasure of that year as well. But this film, I don't really remember much about it, except Brad Pitt plays a IRA terrorist, sort of shacking up with a family in Boston, family, Harrison Ford's family. Sort of a action thriller. Not great from what I remember, but and probably not as good as The Devil's Advocate, even from that same year. Okay, up next we have Girl Interrupted from 1999, starring Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie. Very good film, set in a sort of mental hospital in the late 60s. Winona Ryder sort of gets falsely diagnosed with a mental disorder, and her parents send her to this hospital, all-female clinic. Whoopi Goldberg sort of plays the Nurse Ratched type of role, and Angelina Jolie won her Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for her performance in this film. She's really good in this movie. I really liked her in this when I first saw it. She's actually very good, and she totally deserved to win that year. Sort of at the height of the way she rose in those years after films like Gia and stuff like that. It's hard to believe she's been around that long, actually. I was thinking about it today. Looking at this, Angelina Jolie has been around quite a long time, and she basically looks the same. Okay, up next, another film from 1999, and that's The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc. Directed by Luc Besson, starring Mila Jovovich as Joan of Arc, of course, the 14-year-old French iconic hero of, I believe it's the 15th century, when she led the French to victory over the British, most notably at the Battle of Orleans, which is documented in this film. It's a good film. It's not great. It's got some good action scenes. I love a good historical epic. I love these type of films, and of course, it's sort of if Terrence Malick made a film about Joan of Arc, this is sort of what it would turn out to be. It's very sort of contemplative and spiritual, especially the stuff dealing with Joan and the sort of spiritual, sort of the influence on her life and how she ended up on the stake at the end. Also stars Dustin Hoffman, John Malkovich, and Faye Dunaway. Yeah, good film, but not a great one. Okay, up next, a title a lot of you might be familiar with after last year, and that's Les Miserables, but this is the 1998 version, not a musical, directed by Billy Auguste. Starring Liam Neeson as Jean Valjean. Jeffrey Rush, very good as Javert. Also stars Uma Thurman and Claire Danes. Yeah, like I said, not a musical, so it's just the basic story of Les Mis, which probably most of you are familiar with now. It's a good film. It's very grim from what I remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But the actual storyline of Les Mis is actually a pretty grim one. There's not very many happy characters and happy situations in Les Mis, and it's a good film. Liam Neeson and Jeffrey Rush are really good from what I remember. Okay, up next, really good film, underrated comedy from 1999, and that's Mumford, um, directed by Lawrence Kasdan, starring Lauren Bean, sort of this guy who goes to a small town. I think maybe his old hometown, something like that. He gets mistaken for a psychiatrist, and he basically goes along with it and starts helping out all the townspeople and their problems. Really good supporting cast. I've always been a huge fan of Hope Davis. She's really good as the love interest. Jason Lee is very funny in this film. Sort of this crazy genius who's like building female sex robots in his basement, something like that. Yeah, good supporting cast. Martin Short, Mary McDonnell, Alfre Woodard, Ted Danson. Yeah, good sort of quirky small town comedy with a good cast, good dialogue. Highly recommend it if you get a chance to see it. Okay, up next, another film from 1999, and that's October Sky, directed by Joe Johnston, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Chris Cooper, and Laura Dern. Film set in 1967 West Virginia coal town, very sort of rundown coal mining town, and to sort of break free, Jake Gyllenhaal inspires to build rockets. It's all about sort of the space age during that era after witnessing the Sputnik story, the first, Russians the first in space with the Sputnik vehicle or whatever. Yeah, good film, really good performances by Gyllenhaal and Chris Cooper. My mom is a huge fan of Chris Cooper. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that in this video talking about this movie. She's always been a fan of him, and especially this film. Sort of the film that launched Jake Gyllenhaal as well, from what I remember. Yeah, he's been around a long time now, too. Yeah, October Sky, very good drama, good cast, good story. Okay, up next, another sort of quirky comedy from 1999 as well. Like I said, a lot of these are from 1999. And that's Pushing Tin, directed by Mike Newell. Really good cast. John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton stars two rival air traffic controllers. And that's basically it. And they both each have a girlfriend or wife. One's their wife, Angelina Jolie again, and Cate Blanchett. One of my favorite actresses. She's been great for a number of years. She's really good in this. The whole cast is good. I mean, these four actors were all really good, very stellar. Yeah, it's a fun film. Got some funny situations. Yeah, good movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Okay, up next, film my good man Kevin, Dr. Hassline, has been watching and talking about recently, from what I can tell on Facebook and YouTube, and that's Summer of Sam, also from 1999, directed by Spike Lee, of course, starring John Leguizamo and Mira Sorvino, set during the summer of 1977 in New York, where it was very hot. They had a famous blackout, and of course the serial killer, the son of Sam, was on the loose. David Berkowitz, I believe his name was. Killing couples and stuff. Yeah, it's sort of all over the place, this film. Good supporting cast as well. Adrian Brody, Jennifer Esposito, I really liked in this. Sort of reminiscent of Lee's Do the Right Thing, which is probably my favorite Spike Lee film. But Summer of Sam, not a great film, I'd say, but very good still. Check it out. Okay, last but not least, sort of off the board, a little going with some sci-fi here, and that's The 13th Floor, also from 1999, starring Craig Bierko, Gretchen Mol, and Vincent D'Onofrio. Sort of came out at the same time as The Matrix, and not really as comparable to that film. This is more dramatic, more a thriller, sort of this alternate world cyberpunk thriller. The film that most resembles, at that time, which came out the same year, is Existenz, David Cronenberg film, which I was not a fan of, I gotta say. But I enjoyed The 13th Floor. I really liked the soundtrack. features the song Erase and Rewind by the Cardigans, which you heard during this video. Always been a fan of Gretchen Mol. I've liked her in a lot of things. Rounders from the year before, and the notorious Betty Page. I love her on Boardwalk Empire. She's probably my favorite character on that show as well. Yeah, a good sort of sci-fi thriller from the late 90s. So there you have it, 9 films. Like I said, mostly from 1999. A couple from 97, 98. So let me know if you've seen any of these films. I'll make sure to put a link to Kevin, Dr. Hasline's channel in the description below. So check him out if you don't know him already. Great guy from Australia. Really cool guy, actually. Great taste in movies. So check him out. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll see ya.
Bong.